Have you ever asked yourself, what does it really mean to be aware? Not just aware of what is happening outside, but also of what is going on inside us. Is awareness simply noticing things, or is it something much deeper? Can we live a life of true awareness while constantly being pulled and shaped by society, religion, politics, and now, by influencers and social media? Let us begin with the self. What is the self we are so attached to? We say, this is me, my thoughts, my name, my religion, my achievements, my past. But is this me real? Or is it just a collection of memories, habits, beliefs, and opinions built over time? Krishnamurti said, the self is a bundle of memories, a series of experiences, and without memory, there is no self. So, if the self is based on the past, can it ever be free, fresh, alive, or is it always repeating itself? When we look closely, we see that our identity is shaped by what others have told us, by culture, tradition, education. We follow patterns because it feels safe. But is security the same as truth? A child born in one religion grows up believing in certain gods and rituals. Another child, born elsewhere, grows up believing something entirely different. Both feel their belief is true. But can two opposing beliefs be true at the same time? Or is truth something beyond belief? This is where awareness begins. It is the flame that sees without judgment. Osho said, awareness means watching your body, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your moods, your dreams, your reality, everything. Without any judgment, without any condemnation or appreciation, just watch. But can we really watch without judgment? Try it for 1 minute. Observe your thoughts right now, without saying this is good or this is bad. Is it possible? Now let us explore society. Society tells us what is acceptable, what is successful, what is beautiful. But who created these standards? Is society helping us to become free, or is it conditioning us to fit in? From childhood, we are told to compete, to be better than others. We are rewarded for obedience and punished for questioning. We are told, be like him. She is successful. You must also become like that. But in this comparison, don't we lose ourselves? Social media has made this comparison even more intense. Every scroll shows us edited lives, perfect faces, filtered happiness. We compare our reality to someone else's highlights. And in this process, we feel inferior, incomplete. But can a real life ever compete with a carefully edited image? Is this comparison not violence against the self? Krishnamurti often asked, can you look without the image? Can you look at yourself and others without the image that thought has created? Not as a failure, not as a success, but simply as you are, alive, breathing, present. This seeing without the image is the beginning of awareness. It is not a technique. It is a moment-to-moment observation. Let us turn to politics. What is politics if not the struggle for power? Every politician promises change, but the structure remains the same. Division, control, manipulation. We vote for faces, for parties, but not for transformation. Why do we support systems that breed conflict? Is it because we want someone else to take responsibility for our lives? Osho once said, politics is the art of fooling people. The very ambition to rule others is sick. Can anyone who truly understands life want to rule another? Can love exist where there is control? Yet we give away our power so easily. We follow leaders without questioning their motives. Why? Is it because we are afraid to stand alone? This is not about rejecting politics, but about seeing clearly. Awareness means we stop reacting blindly. We stop becoming prey to fear, to slogans, to herd mentality. We begin to ask, what kind of society do we want? Not just for ourselves, but for the whole of humanity. Are we willing to live responsibly, or do we just want to escape into the comfort of ideologies? And what about religion? Organized religion says, follow these rules, do these rituals, believe in this book, this God, this Savior. But belief is not truth. Belief is repetition. Krishnamurti said, truth is a pathless land. You cannot reach it by following another. Truth is not a fixed idea. It is a living, moving, vibrant presence that reveals itself only when the mind is silent, alert, free from fear. Religion has divided people more than it has united them. It has become a matter of identity, not of love or understanding. We say, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian, and in these words, we create walls. But can love have a label? Can truth have a nationality? Osho said, all organized religions have been enemies of man's spiritual growth. They have distracted you from the real quest, to know yourself. So can we drop all these labels and simply ask, who am I? Not what I have been told, but what I can discover directly. Can we begin to meditate, not as a ritual, but as a pure observation of our mind, our reactions, our fears? Now consider the influence of products, brands, and influencers. Why are we so attracted to what others are wearing, using, promoting? A new phone, a new trend, a new style. We rush to follow. Why? Is it because we do not know who we are, so we borrow identity from outside? We feel, if I wear what she wears, if I talk like him, if I post like them, I will be accepted. But does acceptance by others lead to self-respect? This constant desire to become like others is the root of imitation, and imitation kills intelligence. Osho said, comparison is a disease. Everybody is unique. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior, but nobody is equal either. People are simply unique, incomparable. So why do we try so hard to fit into someone else's mold? Let's take a practical example. You see an influencer promoting a luxury product, maybe a skincare item or a fitness gadget. You don't need it. You didn't even think about it yesterday. But now you feel, maybe I should have it too. So you buy it. Later you may not even use it. But what happened here? Was it your choice, or were you influenced? Can awareness exist in a mind that is constantly being influenced? If every decision we make is shaped by someone else's image, where is our freedom? And without freedom, how can there be truth? Krishnamurti said, freedom is not something that is given to you by another. Freedom is from the very beginning, not at the end. So we must begin now, where we are. Not tomorrow, not after we become successful or spiritual, but now, in this moment. Can we become aware of our reactions as they arise? Can we see jealousy as jealousy, anger as anger, fear as fear, without trying to escape, justify, or condemn? Awareness is not something separate from daily life. It is how we talk, how we eat, how we look at people, how we respond when someone disagrees with us. It is not some special state for monks and sages. It is available to everyone, but it requires attention, care, and honesty. Watch a child playing. There is total attention, no past, no future, just pure energy in the moment. That is awareness. But as we grow, we lose it. We become burdened with thought, memory, ambition. Can we return to that state, not by becoming childish, but by dropping the unnecessary weight we carry? Osho said, the real question is not whether life exists after death. The real question is whether you are alive before death. And to be alive is to be aware, to meet life without filters, without projections, with freshness. So how do we begin? Not by following steps or methods, but by watching. Watch your thoughts in the morning as you wake up. Watch how you speak to others. Watch how you react to praise or insult. Just watch. This watching is meditation, not sitting cross-legged with closed eyes, but being alert in daily life. Ask yourself, why did I get angry just now? Why did I feel jealous when she succeeded? Why do I crave attention from strangers? These questions are not to fix yourself, but to understand. And in that understanding, something begins to change. You don't have to force it. Awareness transforms without effort. We live in a world full of noise. Social media shouts, influencers pose, politicians scream, religious leaders preach. In all this noise, awareness is silence. It is the space where clarity happens. It is the ground of freedom, the soil where love grows. You do not need to belong to a religion to be aware. You do not need to follow a guru or become perfect. You just need to begin, here and now, with honesty. Awareness is not about becoming something. It is about seeing what is. And when you truly see what is, without distortion, there is a joy, a peace, a depth that no influencer, no product, no belief can give you. That is the gift of awareness. It is the only revolution that matters. So we are beginning to understand that awareness is not something we practice once a day like a ritual. It is not separate from life. It is life. But what is it that stops us from living with awareness? Why does the mind keep falling into old patterns, even when we understand they create suffering? To answer this, we must look at conditioning, the invisible force shaping most of our thoughts and actions. From childhood, we are trained to think in a certain way. This is right, that is wrong. This is good, that is bad. This is success, that is failure. We are told how to behave, what to believe, whom to admire, and whom to avoid. Slowly, without realizing, we become mechanical. Our responses are no longer fresh. They are programmed. Krishnamurti said, "It is no measure of health to be well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Think about it. What kind of society do we live in? One where violence, comparison, greed, and loneliness are common, and yet we adjust to it as if this is normal. We learn to compete in school, not to understand. We learn to chase marks, not meaning. We memorize answers, not how to think freely. Is our education system designed to awaken intelligence, or is it producing more obedient, fearful individuals who conform? A student is taught to obey authority, repeat facts, and fear failure. But can there be creativity in fear? Can love grow in fear? Osho said, "The whole education system is based on fear. Fear of being left behind, fear of being a failure. But fear never leads to understanding. It only leads to escape." So we must ask, what is the purpose of education? Is it to prepare us for a job, or to help us discover who we truly are? If education was based on awareness, students would learn how to observe their thoughts, how to understand their emotions, how to listen without judgment. But instead, we are taught to compare, compete, and copy. This same pattern follows us into adult life. We continue to compare ourselves, our salary, our home, our partner, our looks. We continue to fear failure and chase success. We measure our worth by how much we own or how many people follow us online. But is that true living? Awareness is freedom from comparison. When you are aware, you no longer want to be someone else. You begin to see your own uniqueness, your own depth. You stop looking outside for validation. Let's explore love through awareness. Most people think love means attachment. I love you often means I need you, or I cannot live without you. But is that love, or is it dependence? Krishnamurti asked, can there be love where there is attachment, where there is fear, where there is jealousy? If I say I love someone, but I feel hurt when they talk to someone else, what does that reveal? Is it love, or is it the fear of losing control? True love has no fear. It gives freedom. It is not possessive. Osho said, love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. So if we are truly aware, we don't try to change others. We observe their nature, and we allow them to be. But we can only do that if we are inwardly free. Most relationships today are built on unconscious needs. We enter relationships because we feel lonely, incomplete. We expect the other to make us whole. But no one can fill our inner emptiness. Awareness helps us to see this. It helps us to build relationships not based on need, but on shared presence. Let us now look at fear. Almost every decision we make is influenced by some form of fear. Fear of what others think, fear of failure, fear of being alone, fear of death. But can fear and awareness exist together? Can you be fully aware and also afraid? Fear is always about the future. What will happen if I lose my job? What if I never succeed? What if I die? But is the future real, or is it just thought? Krishnamurti said, "Thought is time. Thought is born of the past, and it projects itself into the future. So fear is born when thought escapes the present. Awareness brings us back to now. When you are totally present, there is no fear, just attention. Have you ever noticed that in a moment of real crisis, like a car accident or sudden danger, the mind becomes silent? You act without thinking. That silence, that clarity, is awareness. But we can't wait for accidents to become aware. We must bring that same attention to daily life. When fear arises, we watch it, not to escape it, not to analyze it, but simply to see it as it is. And in that watching, fear begins to dissolve. Now let's speak about time. We live as if time is our master. One day I will be free. One day I will change. One day I will be happy. But that day never comes. Why? Because we are postponing life. We are caught in psychological time. Osho said, "Life is now. There is no other time. Past is memory. Future is imagination. This moment is all there is." But do we live in this moment? Or are we always escaping into the past and future? Try to sit silently for 5 minutes. Just observe your thoughts. You will see how quickly the mind starts running into old stories, into future dreams. The present moment feels empty to the mind, but it is in this emptiness that awareness is born. So can we live without psychological time? Can we live without saying, "Tomorrow I will become better"? Can we see ourselves clearly right now and let that seeing transform us? We often ask, "How can I change?" But change through effort is still the old mind trying to fix itself. Awareness is not effort, it is understanding. When you see clearly, you don't need to force change. The very seeing is the change. Krishnamurti said, "To understand the whole movement of thought, feeling, and consciousness, you must watch it without judgment. Just watch it as you watch a cloud." So awareness is not something we do. It is something we are. It is the natural state of a mind that is not distracted, not afraid, not seeking. It is a mirror that reflects everything, your anger, your joy, your confusion, without distortion. Let us return to influences, social media, advertising, trends. We are constantly being told what to want, what to like, what to think. If we are not aware, we become puppets, manipulated by images and sounds. You may see a video saying, "Buy this product and your skin will glow." You may not even need it, but you begin to feel that you lack something. You are being hypnotized. Awareness breaks this hypnosis. You begin to see, "I am enough. I do not need to follow every trend. I can choose from clarity, not from compulsion." This clarity is power, not the power to control others, but the power to live with truth. You become immune to manipulation. You begin to live from your own intelligence, not from borrowed thoughts. You begin to ask, "Do I need this? Is this thought mine or is it planted? Am I acting from fear or love?" These questions create space in the mind. In that space, real intelligence awakens. Now let us speak of transformation. Is it possible to change completely? Not just small improvements, but a deep inner revolution? Yes, but only through awareness. All other methods, discipline, belief, imitation, lead to more conflict. Only awareness brings light. Osho said, "Don't try to change yourself. Just be aware. The very awareness will change you." So, there is nothing to fix. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be understood. And understanding comes through attention. So what would a life of awareness look like? You wake up, not mechanically, but with attention. You listen to the birds. You feel the air on your skin. You watch your thoughts arise, and you don't rush to identify with them. You speak with care. You listen fully. You walk with presence. You eat mindfully. You watch your reactions, and you begin to understand your conditioning. You stop blaming others. You begin to see that your inner state shapes your outer world. You don't seek meaning in possessions. You don't crave fame or comparison. You begin to love without attachment. You begin to work without stress. You stop chasing, and you start living. This is not a fantasy. It is possible. But you must want it, not as a goal, but as a flame inside you. That flame is awareness. It is the only guide you need. So let us ask, one last time, are we really living, or are we just functioning? Are we awake, or are we sleepwalking through life, driven by fear, ambition, and imitation? The invitation is simple. Wake up, watch, listen, feel, drop the unnecessary, see clearly, act with care. Awareness is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of a new life.